Okay, can you hear me now? Sorry about that. Okay, now we got it back up and running. There we go. There we go. Testing 1, 2, 3. So yeah, what I was saying is that we're going to wait till a few other people get here on the live chat, and so I can show you guys some of the differences that I've previously recorded. So right now you should be able to hear me. I can hear myself here, and we got about, I think, 13 people here, 11 people. It's going to fluctuate as we do this. So, but right now you can see the side by side of the two televisions. One thing after doing this test, that it is a very hard comparison between the two TVs, but the biggest thing that I realized is that the Sony has overall better contrast. Now both of these are VA panels. Let me pull up the little computer here real quick and we'll take a look here. So here's a comparison of the two. We have so we have the Q60B here, and we have the X80K. You see both of them are 2022 models. And as we scroll down the list, we can see some of the attributes of both televisions. So for example, you can see both TVs are VA panels. Now this is kind of different when you go to a smaller Sony. So if you go to the 43-inch, it's going to change to IPS panel, but I don't have one of those to show you, but I can show you the J in the future. You see both TVs are 8-bit. So that's basically 8-bit with 2 bits of frame rate control. The color is about the exact same, you can see there. And then as you go down here a little bit farther, you have pixel density. So that tells me that the Samsung's probably gonna look a little bit better on the computer setups. Sorry, I'm trying to read these tests. HDR brightness. At this time, I'm still working on content to do that because YouTube has a lot of copyright infringement type things. So I want to make sure that when I show this kind of information that I can do it and not have YouTube after me. But I do have some comparisons that I'm going to show you on this video. So I'm just waiting to see how many people join. Another thing you're going to get here is the Samsung's edge lit. And basically what that means is that all the LEDs goes around the edge and there's nothing in the center, where the Sony is direct lit. And basically all the LEDs that lights up the panels on the back of the television. The Samsung also has what they call dual LEDs. So it basically has 2 sets of LEDs, and that's to help out with the blue levels and some details here. The Samsung, I will tell you that it is 120 hertz motion, and I think people get confused about motion rate versus native rate. So if you think about it this way, native rate is what the panel is actually designed to do. That's your refresh rate on everyday content. Motion is used for this reason. Let's say, for example, a lot of companies who create movies, they film them in 24 frames per second. And whenever you put 24 frames on a TV that has 60 hertz, then it's gonna have a lot of sputter and a lot of different judder in the picture. Actually, let me change something here real quick. We're just taking off that chat box for a second. So what motion is going to do is it's going to allow you to adjust the frames in the picture to match it up with the content, and that way you don't get as much motion blur. And you can see that definitely in older movies and some of the older TVs. So back over here, we have again 120 hertz motion on the Samsung. The Sony has basically a 200 motion rate. So I have a motion test I'm gonna show you guys a little bit later in this video. Then if we scroll down here, it just basically shows the different sizes. And there's the VESA mounts for the televisions. And if we go down here, this is kind of interesting. This website is basically picking up a different country, but both of them has the ATSC tuner in it. But I will tell you that the Samsung has the ATSC 2.0, and then the Sony has the ATSC 3.0. And what that means is that here in the United States, especially, if you put an antenna onto it, you can get HD channels. That means you can get a maximum. Hey, how you doing, Lake? Nice to meet you there. But basically, if you you get 1080p, and if you get the new ATSC 3.0, on some cities, they have 4K over-the-air content with Dolby Audio. And once that gets here in your state, if you're here in the United States, then just imagine getting 4K over the air. This is something that's been in the works for a long time. They both have the same CPU. And as we go down this list here, same amplifier, 10 watt by 2. And both these TVs have a couple of different technologies. Like, for example, you can see the Samsung has native sound, Bluetooth, Dolby Digital Plus. Now, both of these TVs, you can send Dolby Atmos through it, through the pass-through feature using the eARC output on the back of the TV. And then back over here to the Sony, you can see that has you can calibrate the sound of the speakers by using a remote control. You basically go into a setting, you point the remote control, and it actually copies the sound in the room. It also supports, they call this X-based speakers. It's basically they put a speaker port on the back of the television, on the bottom. And then it has Dolby Atmos and Dolby Audio as well. And then last few things here. Now these new models, they have an option to do camera. So if you plan on doing like Google Duo, you can go in here and you can plug in a camera through USB, and then you can actually make phone calls right from the television. But some people, they don't like that feature. Some people do. All right, as we go down here, one thing I will tell you that Sony does have more inputs. So if you look over here, the Samsung. Hey, how you doing, Steve Bell? Welcome to the live stream. Then if you go here, the Samsung has 3 HDMI 2.0s. So they can support up to 60 hertz. And one of them is eARC for soundbars. But if you look at the Sony, it has a lot of other features. It has 4 HDMIs, and it does have 1 USB 3.0. So, and as you go down here, and this is just a laundry list of some of the features. Not everything's on here, but if you guys ever want to go check this out, let me move myself over here a little bit. There's a website right there, is displayspecifications.com. So when I'm doing my research on TVs, that's pretty much what I'm using right there. All right, so yeah, so now I'm gonna show you guys some pre-recorded stuff that I made here. First thing I'm gonna show you is like some viewing angles of the television so you can see the difference between the two. So let's go and hit it.
All right, let's check out the viewing angles. Over here is the Samsung. This is the Q60B. Over here is
So you can see that Sony looks really good up front, but the Samsung, when it comes to the viewing angles, does a much better job as far as what I've seen there. I think both TVs are really good overall, but being the VA panels, it does have its limitations to how good the viewing angles are. So just keep that in mind. If you plan on putting a large TV like in a family room or something like that, you definitely want to consider IPS, even though you might get like some type of issues with that. Now, Frosty, I realize the audio is weird. I'm still doing some tests on this software, seeing what I can stream, what I can't stream. So I do apologize, but this is my 3rd official live stream, so we're going to get better at this as time goes. Now I'm going to show you guys another test. This is basically showing you guys like the contrast ratio and some other things that that the TVs have to offer. So let's go and take a look at that.
Before we look at some of these settings to compare these television, I want to show you guys that the TV is in movie mode. And if you go down to the bottom here, I did a factory reset just by pressing reset picture. I didn't do a smart calibration or anything like that, so that's where the Samsung is set. And here we are on the Sony, and you can see right there I have it in cinema mode. I'm just going to go ahead and reset it back to the factory. And also what I'm going to do is I'm going to max out my camera brightness to keep both televisions in the best looking picture order. So if one TV is brighter than the other, I'm going to bring everything down. If one is darker, I'm going to bring it up. So that way you can kind of get a better gauge on how good this looks. So let's go ahead and just jump right into it. All right, so here's the first contrast test I want to show you guys. And one thing I noticed right off the bat is that the Sony is a lot darker. The contrast is much better. I can see the pattern of the checkerboards in the background really good. On the Samsung, on the other hand, in this particular video, has a little bit more of a blue glow to it. Plus, and the contrast is not as black compared to the Sony. Now, looking at this test, it appears that the Samsung has a much better contrast. So this is a little bit confusing because you see the gray is a lot darker on the Samsung compared to the Sony. And one thing I'm finding here on this test is that the Sony grayscale doesn't look as good as the Samsung. So if you look at the black levels all the way up to the white levels, you can see that the Samsung, definitely the colors are punchy and they pretty much separate completely. Now here we have a uniformity test. Overall, both TVs look pretty decent, but you do see a little bit of vignetting right there in the corners. It's not that bad, but you can see that it does exist. Keep in mind, these are considered budget type TVs because both these TVs are less than like $700. Now in this test, I'm going to show you guys some of the white dots that you can get with the contrast of the blackness, and I'm slowly changing the iris on my camera until we get it up to the maximum of my lens. So right now we're at f2.8, and you can see the backlights on the Samsung compared to the Sony, and in my opinion, the Sony's definitely doing a better job with the contrast. And here's a star field test. Again, look at that background. So at this point, if I was looking at these two TVs, I'm more likely going to go with the Sony just for the backlights. So I think Sony's done something with the software because some of the previous models, the motion wasn't that good, in my opinion. And now, looking at the Samsung and Sony, it looks like the Sony's doing a much better job. So if you look at that top line, that's usually what I use as a reference. And some televisions, that's really jaggedy. But keep in mind, you can go into the settings and change some of that around. Now the second line, again, still pretty smooth. And the bottom line, that's like the fast moving scenes like boxing or sports, soccer, things like that. So I would give these TVs probably the same rating when it comes to the motion at this point.
All right, so yeah, after doing that test, the interesting thing is my camera's picking up the backlights on the Samsungs a lot more. Now, I will tell you, if you buy that TV, it's not exactly what you see because we don't really notice it, but whenever you're filming TVs, the camera, again, is picking up details that we're definitely not used to. Let me show you guys just one more demo, and then I'll show you a few other things that I have for this podcast. For this live stream.
All right, let's check out the viewing angles.
All right, so there's some of the different colors so you guys can see what they look like side by side. And how you doing, Mario? Welcome to the live stream. So what I'm going to do now, let's take a look at the pricing right now. So if you look at the description of this video, I put all the pricing for Amazon. You guys can buy any television anywhere you want, but I always put it in there just in case you guys are looking to read other reviews and see some of the other pricing and keep yourself up to date. And that way I don't have to reply with a bunch of links. So let's take a look at this. So right now, if you go to Amazon, looks like the 43 inch that I have on this video is $547 on Amazon. And as you go to the different sizes, you can see the pricing all the way up to the 85 inch. Now, this is considered, like, again, an entry level for Samsung. So I think overall this TV is a good TV. Again, the backlights on it, it's kind of, you know, if you have a really dark room and you're watching movies, I definitely think you would notice that. And let's go over here to the Sony. So right now I have the 50 inch on this video. So we're looking at about $700. So again, if you look at the entry level 43 inch, that is an IPS panel, and that's going to be $598 versus the Samsung. So it looks like around a difference of $50. So if you guys are kind of contemplating, the biggest thing I could tell you is that I think both TVs look really good. And I think you'll overall be happy with the televisions. It's just keep in mind that not every single. Hey, how you doing, Colorado? Appreciate you coming to the live stream. We're about to end it in just a minute. Again, this is just a quick little demo. I'm testing out these features of my equipment here and trying to dial it in. But again, welcome everyone, and thank you for showing up. I know there's not a lot of people on here, but again, it's a testament that you guys are really supporting me, and I really appreciate it. And I'll tell you guys a little bit later some things I have planned in the future as a summary. So yeah, so there's the current pricing. If you go all the way to the 85 inch, again, $199. We go back to Sony. Sony makes the 85 inch. That's going to be about $300 more. So that'll be, I'll give you guys an idea. Now, you see in the background, I got some footage planned. And you can see the brightness of the Sony is definitely coming through a lot more on this particular demo. So if I was to look at these two TVs side by side, I would probably more likely go with the Sony in comparison. Some of the other things, just like to take the Sony for sound. Yeah, you know, that is a good point. The Sony does have a better audio system. The Sony does have Dolby Vision. Chromecast is something that you can kind of stream any kind of. You can stream to any kind of television. So I can pull up my phone right now and hit stream, and it'll go to any of my televisions. So I can just select them on the list, and I think that'll be, you know, it's a good feature. As far as processing, it's kind of like they've been using the same thing over the last years. The Samsung, you know, their processors are pretty good. But you know what I'm noticing? I saw a YouTube short the other day, and it made a lot of sense to me because I probably should be making shorts like that if I ever have time. But yeah, it was about these processors. The processors are not keeping up with all the features they keep adding. It's like they're trying to squeeze every drop out of it. But you know, if I don't know what the cost would be, but I think if they could take a television and kind of make it like a computer, like, you know, put in a, you know, not only a 4-core, but, you know, throw in about 16 gigs of RAM into it and put a solid state, you know, hard drive in it that you can just plug your own devices and have it online, be great. But, you know, TVs, I have one I'm testing out right now, and I don't really want to give the brand away, but I just literally turned it on and everything was just spinning for it to load it up. It was getting pretty frustrating. So here's my word of advice to you guys. And not saying anything bad about any company, but I actually use Roku on everything. And it's just because it's fast. No matter what TV, I have a Roku. If I can pull it up here. It's a Roku Premium. And that thing is extremely fast. Yeah, that is the TV that I have on display right now. That's a 43-inch Samsung Q60B, and then on the other side, it is a Sony 50-inch. So both of those are VA panels. 50-inch minimum, yeah. I mean, again, if you watch my videos, I say this from time to time. I have someone that helps me film my videos, mainly B-roll. So I used to do, if you go watch my older videos, I literally took the camera and moved it around as I talked. And you know what? I think those videos look better overall. But the issue for me is, like, I have so many TVs I'm filming and so many projects I do that you guys don't see that I have someone that films B-roll for me, and then when I get a time, I'll sit down and start recording the features. But let me show you guys this Roku real quick. This is the one that I pretty much use on all my products. I have a couple of these, and for $70, you just plug it in, and then you're good to go. Another thing I like about it is that, you know, if your TV's too loud, or if you live in a house or a condo or apartment, you can plug your headphones in, and then you can literally, you know, have audio in your ear without having to run Bluetooth or anything, and there's no latency issues or anything like that. So yeah, this is the one I use. $70. Use the HDMI cable, you're good to go. All right, so you guys have any other questions for me? You know, I'm here for you, and I can look up some things if you want me to. But yeah, we went over the pricing, went over the comparisons of the two, showed you guys some demos, and I'll run that demo in the background while I'm talking here. So yeah, you can see both TVs right here. Now, here's the thing. A lot of these TVs, I'm going to be running in 4K when I film them, but live stream only accepts 1080p. So what I do is I decided to just go ahead and pre-record some of this footage, and then I downgrade it so it looks as best for the demos. But right now you're watching it straight from my camera with no edits. In fact, I can let's pull this up. The AU8100 versus the AU8000. Well, some of those TVs I don't get, you know, like literally. Sorry, I'm trying to power this PlayStation up here. So yeah, by the way, this is a channel I put together, and you can go through here if you want to see all the demos. Most of the demos I use on my videos now, I just made this channel, so I know that it's gonna be okay with Roku's copyright infringements and stuff like that. So let me catch up on some of these chats here. I'd like to ask a question about the edge lit. Is it just me, or sometimes it looks washed out, faded? You know what? Yeah, I feel the same way. I feel the edge lit is good, but the trade-off is it makes it thinner. And I think what I've read before is that it makes, you know, it's less expensive to build a TV that way. So you got, you know, companies are looking for saving money just like anybody else. You know, edge lit, nothing wrong with it, but sometimes a trade-off. Look at this demo right now. We've got the Samsung on one side. It has edge lit. And on the other side, we have the Sony that has direct backlight. So I don't know. It's still something to be learned, because on entry-level televisions, you remove all the factors that you have, like in higher-end TVs. You lose local dimming. You lose you go down to 120 frames per second. The panels are completely different. So you know it's one of those things where prices is it's kind of overriding quality sometimes, or at least the manufacturing. So we already talked about the AU8100. You know, I haven't seen the 8100. I know it's probably the same TV overall, but again, without seeing something, I try not to guess, and that's one thing I learned when I used to be working retail stores. I try not to guess on things. See, glad. You know, Paul, Kelly, yeah, I want to keep making videos on these less expensive TVs, because I know a lot of YouTubers, they get a lot of hits on these, 100-inch TVs, 80-inch TVs. But, for the most part, again, I'm a one-man band. So can you imagine every time right now I was doing a demo on a 75-inch TV, and I literally had to wait 1 week to move this TV around when my helper came over. So I couldn't even film the TV because it's too big. I'm so yeah, I think 65, I can lift a 65, and that's pushing it a little bit. And plus, another thing is when I do comparison videos, the smaller TVs, it's easier to put them on the table. So look, if you look right now, I can put two 50-inch TVs on this table. And if you look at, I see somebody doing comparison videos, they have these things all over their living room. You got one up on your kitchen, counter, and one on your, your entertainment center trying to do a comparison video. And I just like things to look a little more organized, a little more clean. But I know, it is what it is. I'm tempted by the Sony X80K for the next gen counter. Do I think? I have all these. This is for you, Mike. It's hard to say because I'm not a gamer. Only reason I even have gaming console is for these channels, just to show you guys videos, and I don't even really game that much. So, I went out and bought the PlayStation 5, I went out and bought the Xbox Series X, and I have an Xbox Series S. And I bought these all as a business, investment. So YouTube is a business, no matter how you look at it, because, I'm spending tens of thousands of dollars to make these videos. In return, that, you guys watch it enough to help cover some of the cost on it. So that's just how this all works. But when it comes to that gaming consoles, I personally can't tell a big difference because for the most part, most games are still 60 hertz. In fact, let me see if I can pull up something that has 120 hertz games on it. And, like something like at the time I bought Dirt 5, I actually purchased it because it said 120 hertz. Then find out it's 1440p max at 120 hertz. So it's not even 4K 120 hertz. You say you get the. Yeah, I think if you really want 120 hertz, you can go with the X85K. But there's people saying that because of the chip in it, the X1 processor, that it has half the resolution. I don't really talk about stuff like that because I really don't even test it. I think there's a fine line between doing too much. You can I'll review and I'll show you guys contrast ratios. I'll show you, details that the average person use. And then you have some YouTube content creators out there that are fantastic. I mean, these guys are techie. They go in and try to find everything to tell you. But at the end of the day, if you came on my house and I had an X85K and I'm playing a 60 hertz game and say, hey, do you want to play? Do you notice a difference if I put it on 120 hertz? I don't know. I think 60 hertz is fine for games. I tried both of them out, and I think you'll be fine either way. But if you're a hardcore gamer and stuff like that, you definitely go to the 120 hertz just so you know it's there. Just so you know it's there. But some of the stuff, I think it takes even a camera just to even figure it out. Because sometimes I don't see stuff, and then I film it and look back on it while I'm editing, and I'm like, whoa, and then sometimes I have to go refilm it because I missed something. But that's crazy how all that works out there. But yeah, again, in my opinion, I think you'd be fine either way. Feel like more research. I think when it comes to the TVs, you got to figure out if you want to have something higher end or something entry level. I did a video on the OLED C2, and I also did one on the Samsung, the QN90B and the QN85B. That's a game changer. When you get to TVs on that level, whoa, it looks like this demo's getting away from me. So let me go switch that up. Yeah, again, this is a channel I created just for demos, so it's pretty cool. I'm sure YouTube, when I plays back, they might hit me with some copyright strikes, so it is what it is. But yeah, look at this demo right here. Look at the colors on that Sony, because this is Adobe, I think it's Adobe Vision or Adobe Atmos video. That's where you can see those colors. Look at that. Wow. Wow, look, huge difference. Would you guys tell me what you think in the comments below? I think it matters if you play games with frame rate control. Yeah. So lost my train of thought here just for a minute. Let's see here. So I'm pretty sure like when people play this video, we'll get more playbacks. But yeah, I just want to give you guys like a couple of examples here. That way you can see the TV. A few things I want to clarify with you guys while I'm on here, in case anybody else sees this, is that I generally don't try to play movies anymore because YouTube is really cracking down on content that you play for demos. And what happens on the back end, let's say, for example, I used to take Top Gun trailers and all these, movie trailers, and I put them on my videos. On the back end, I got all of these copyright things. So you got to remove this, you got to change the audio. So that's why I created this channel to start making my own little demos. I use a software called Storyblocks, and Storyblocks allow you to basically, add your own demos. You can create your own demos. So I just add music there. Let's see here. So I just go to Storyblocks, and a lot of content creators are doing something like that. So, example, this is the website I use, and I basically pay like, I don't know, $300 or $400 a year. Then I can go in here and download this content. And the great thing about this content is that it's royalty free, so I don't get any strikes from YouTube or anything like that. So, but maybe in the future I'll find another source. If you guys do have a source that you can, you can get more, you can get copyright movies, then definitely let me know. I personally would like to get hold of some movies that I can actually show. So, yeah, I'm gonna make this full screen for a second. So the last thing I want to say is that I'm working on, if you notice over the last probably 3 weeks, 4 weeks, I haven't been really putting out the videos I used to put out. And the main reason is, as a YouTuber, you get a little bit tired, get tired. On the back end, sometimes I film 8, 9, 10 videos that you guys don't even see, and just to get 1 or 2 out. So as I get new TVs in, I kind of just try to give you like a sample. So I'm working on this project. It's going to be my own project, and I love YouTube, but I think eventually you have to kind of do your own thing. So I'm working on this complete website. When it's done, it's going to have probably 200 or 300 videos on it that you only see on YouTube. And it's going to be about tutorials. I tried some tutorials. If you notice, I've been trying to, I've been trying tutorial videos, and then, I'm getting only like 1,000 clicks or something. So I am working on a full tutorial website for people who are interested. It would have a membership fee to it, but at the same time, for people who really want to, if you're going to buy a TV and you want to know everything about the TV, that's what this is going to be about. So currently, I have a lot of the TVs I had left over. So what I'm doing on the back end is I'm filming nonstop footage on these TVs, from how to use a remote control, how to get the best colors out of it, how to hook up a sound bar, because I don't think these videos will do well on YouTube. So again, once I get it done, it's probably going to go a little bit more live around January, February next year. So it's that much work. But in the meantime, I have in the queue right now, I got about 8 videos of B-roll. So next week I will start filming those again. And I'm going to do my best to give you guys the best content while I'm building out that other service as well. So it's a lot of work, more than I anticipated, but I think it's going to be great for, again, those people who wants to learn more about the TV before they buy it or something like that. So, but yeah, guys, I want to appreciate you for joining me on this live stream. I hope if you go back and look at my old ones, that the audio is getting better, the quality is getting better, the production is getting better, and I'm just going to make everything better as time goes on. So I really appreciate you guys joining me here. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace. Then we got this awkward pause as I hit the outro. Peace.